Welcome to Sunshine Art and Drawing. Today I'm going to be doing this gorgeous Pikachu diamond painting. The first thing I've done is I've tried to sort of roll it out and flatten it, put it under some heavy books, that sort of thing, to take some of these creases out. It's quite difficult to do because this is kind of plastic, it's not paper, so they kind of get stuck. But it will flatten out eventually the more you leave it flat with books under it. And I've taken all the bits and pieces, I've trimmed the sides. It always comes with like extra border, so you can trim that. And I took the important parts and I just kept them together. These are all the trim sides with the information on them. And then I've taken all the parts and just stuck them in here so I don't lose anything. There's the tool to apply the little diamond shapes with. There is a little tray to sort them, and a little bit of that glue to help you stick them down. And in here is all of the coloured beads. I call them beads because it's the closest thing they are. They're like little plastic rhinestones. And each one is numbered, and these numbers correspond to this list that is here. So as long as you keep the list handy, you can just match up the numbers. I've checked that they're all there, and they seem to have the right amount of little beads. Now when I purchased this one, I thought it was going to be a full size, do the entire background, everything. But when I've opened it up, I've realised that it's just this centre part that needs the beads placed on it, or the little rhinestones. And the rest of the background is already done. So if I peel a bit of this back, the stickiness only goes as far as the edge of the Pikachu design. I assume this warm tip means hot tip. And they're essentially saying, number one, the diamonds are not edible. Don't let children play with them. Don't let children eat them. You don't want children putting them in their mouths, in their ears, that sort of thing. Keep them away from kids. The diamond shapes themselves, the adhesive is not so strong that you can't pick up a piece and replace it down if you pop it in the wrong spot. And the third point is that if you need to clean the printing design, you can just wipe it off with a cloth and it shouldn't affect the adhesive. They should stay where they are, like if you're just wiping down any dust off of the design or something like that. Should be all good. That's the brand of them, DIY 5D Diamond Dimensional Diamond Paintings. I found this one, I believe it was on Aliexpress for about $5 or $10. It wasn't an expensive one. I'm going to keep this to the side because I might need to refer to this little bit here. And it's always handy just to staple these pieces together so you know which one they join to. And here are all of the different ones. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And it looks like 10, 11 are the orange parts for the cheeks. And then there are some black for like his eyes and any sort of like points of interest, and then there's a whole bunch of yellowy, orangey coloured ones for his body, and then I think these two are for his ears and the little bit of shadow where his tail is. But yeah, that's all of them pretty much. So I'm going to work on doing this. I might pop it into time-lapse, and definitely let me know if the audio is better in this video. I have a new microphone and I'm hoping that the audio will be better. Let's get started. So I'm going to start with peeling the cover off. There's a couple of things you can do for these. You can cut this so you can do sections, but because it's not very big, I'm just going to peel the whole thing off, and it's very satisfying. So let's do this nice and slow. Here we go. Yeah. Keep this, because if you only end up doing a small amount, you need to put this back down so that no dust and dirt gets in this, like onto the adhesive section. So you can just kind of pop it to the side. This little piece of glue, just take, let's see if I can get it closer. Just take the peely bit off one side and keep that to the side, so pop him there, because that way when you dig through, it doesn't pop out the other side. It's kind of got a back to work on. To start, I'll do this on my hand so you can see. You take your tool with the metal tip and you push in. And then you take this off and you'll find that it's put stickiness inside there. I'm going to bring it towards the light so you can see a bit better. It's like shiny there. That's taken a small piece of this glue and it's now in there. And that makes the tip just a little bit sticky so that it can pick up these guys here. If we start from number 1, that looks like the ears. So let's go for number 1. So let's go to number 1 on here. Some sets, if they've got lots of these, will give you little Ziploc bags to store them in, but because there's not that many, I think they skip that. I'm going to cut a little bit, so it might be easier if I cut just the whole line off. There you are. And then tip these into your little tray. There we go. And then tap it. And what that does is it lines them up a bit. It takes a bit of tapping to get them good. And then tap them and see how they're all lined up now? Just tap them like that and they'll pick up on the end. And then you look for your number 1 on here. I can see a number 1 right there. So we're going to pop a number 1 there. I'm going to use my phone to do some recording close up just to help you guys out. Let's zoom in here. We go. Might pop this there so you can see what I'm doing as well. So you take your tool and you pop it onto, let's see this guy here. So I'm going to work slowly. You can see how that is now attached to the end there. And then you match it up with number 1 and you place it down and then let go. Because the sticky adhesive on the end of here is very weak, it's like almost like the stuff you'd use for a post-it. It just comes off really easily and you can just tap them in place like so, and then go for another one that's up the right way. There we go. And then that one's going to go there. And then one more just to finish off this section. But I wanted to show just really close up what you're supposed to be doing. And then have a bit of a look at them and just make sure they're straight. You can just tap them a little bit, put them in place nicely, and then as you can see they're 1, 2, 3, 4 in place. And then you just continue that process across the entire design. You can use a magnifying glass if that makes it easier to see, or a phone camera does work really well as kind of a magnifying glass to see the numbers and the letters. Just makes it a little bit easier to see. So cutest Pikachu-y goodness that I was hoping for. It's got some really cool sort of features of like the shadow that runs down the back of his head there, and also the shadow of his eyes and his little nose. It's all really, really cute. I like the kind of shadow that is here, and it's got that real cool sparkle to it, and the background's really nice. I like the detail of the background. It does have a very cool kind of glowing light around the bottom of him there. Super, super cute. I'm really happy with it. Turned out heaps cute. Thanks so much for watching, and you guys have a sunshiny day, and I hope you like this super cute Pikachu video. If you do want to see any more of my diamond painting videos, there will be a playlist linked in the info card at the top. Bye guys, see you next week.